Right, you know, yeah. Bless it. I want to say greetings to everybody. You know, this is a kind of a new setting, so forgive me. I'm not used to this kind of settings. Normally we're used to things a bit less formal. But first and foremost, I want to let everybody know that, you know, in case you didn't know this already, you know, we as African people, we're in a serious situation globally. Now, this situation that we find ourselves in, it doesn't matter where we go in the world, we're going to find the same conditions affecting our people. So that does it. So if you go to the Americas, if you go to even Africa, the home of African people, you go to Africa, you go to the Caribbeans, the so-called slave islands, you'll find black people at the bottom and anybody else that's on the island at the top. Right? And this is the notional thing that's happening everywhere we go. You know, and it's going to take something serious for us to come out of this condition, because it was a serious idea that put us in this position. But it was an idea that, you know, said that somebody is better than us. And, you know, growing up, I live with my grandmother. My grandmother always used to say to me, listen, you're black, you have to work twice as hard. You know, I didn't really understand what she was saying to me. What do you mean because I'm black, I gotta work twice as hard? Why do I have to work twice as hard as somebody that's born in the same hospital as me? Probably a minute after me, but I have to work harder than him. I could be 3 times as qualified as him, and he get the job. So that, you know, that didn't really make sense to me. And it makes sense to me now because I understand how white supremacy works. But it doesn't make no sense to me. The best man for the job's supposed to get the job. And if I'm a businessman and I'm a serious businessman about my business, I'm gonna hire the best man for the job. You know what I mean? And many times, you know, we hire the wrong man for the job. And this is what's happened with black leadership. You know, because of the lack of real leaders, you've got these Johnny-come-latelys that have come, and they've always got their agenda. So maybe most of the time when they're dealing with us, it's only to get a little bit of money for themselves and their family. This is why Marcus Garvey said that when you have these leaders, you know, and you know, you give them the position, when they deal with the position unjust, yeah, you're supposed to lynch them and their wife. Yes. And you know, so why the wife? It's because the wife benefited from all the money he was thieving too. You know what I mean? So, you know, moving forward, you know, we have to get serious, going back to the initial point. And the seriousness has to happen now, because in every element of our lives, yeah, we're suffering. Every element of our life. 1 and 2 men might be having that, you know, that Cosby lifestyle. Well, it's not even good for Cosby no more. But, you know, 1 and 2 people might be having that, you know, that Cosby lifestyle. But majority of black people, you know, we're suffering. You know, if you look at the prison system, it's filled with us. But if you look at the crime, even in this country, if you look at the crime that's committed, the majority of the crime is not us committing it. If you let the media tell you who's committing the crimes, you'll think it's us. If you look at the murder rates in this country, the murder rates in this country is not the majority of us killing each other. It's them that's killing each other, but there's no such thing as white on white violence. But there's a thing called black on black violence though. When white people fight white people, it's called world wars. Or they call it, you know, the power war of the powers. But that shows that we are powerless people, so how are we going to get power? First, we have to identify what our culture is and defend this culture. Because there's no point having a value system that we don't defend, because when our lovely children leave the home and go out into the world where they have a different value system, that value system is stronger than your value system in the home. And then you will tend to find that you have good children come from good homes, end up doing crime, end up doing things that wasn't really the right lifestyle for them. You know what I mean? They had it, you know, they had a better, you know, option. But the value system outside was stronger. And just to give you an example, when I was growing up here, I don't know people's views, but this is me defending my value system again, what I'm saying. Like the whole gay agenda. Like when I was growing up, it wasn't cool to have gay friends. But now, you know, people will be like, oh, it's just, now, you know, they don't mind. As long as they don't see the gay action, they don't mind. But this is what happens now. We're watering down our value system. We're not saying that they can't do what they're doing. Let them go and do what they might do. You can't stop them. But we must stand in our value system. And so it's okay to have a value system and stand for it. It's okay for us to be race first. It's okay. Just because I hear these slogans, just because I'm race first doesn't mean I'm anti-white. But my auntie don't name white, you know. And just because I'm race first, that's common sense. It's not because I don't like white people or I do like white people. It has nothing to do with them. It's something to do with us, but every time we try to do something, we try to appease other people or make other people feel comfortable. But no other people is making anybody else feel comfortable with the liberation of their people. Nobody else is doing it. The Chinese persons or peoples, yeah, they got their agenda and they're going into Africa and they're doing what they're doing. They're not concerned with how you feel. They're not concerned with how the African people on the continent feel. They got their 250-year agenda. Yeah, and we're stuck in BC somewhere, way trying to find out our history, but these people are way advanced than us. They've already worked out how to kill us without a war. Food. So now they just kill us with the food. We don't have to fight. They don't have to fight us again because they put a timer on our life. So now we don't have the right diet. So culture, yeah, must be the manifestation of a people. It has to be. But our culture, we find that everywhere we go, we have a different culture. But we are one people. Everywhere the Chinese goes, the Chinese got his culture, you know. They have them Chinatown. Everywhere he goes, you go to America, they got Chinatown in America. You go to West End in London, they got their Chinatown in London. But where's Africa Town? I ain't never heard of it, you know. I ain't heard of it, you know. I heard of Peckham. And I've recently seen what they've done to Peckham. I've recently seen what they've done to Brixton. These are areas where we used to run things. But now the things is running we. We don't have no businesses no more. There's no black business because we don't have no black community. Where's the black community? Everybody keeps talking about this black community, but it's like Mickey. Where's Disneyland? It's like a Disneyland thing because the thing don't exist. There is no black community. I'm sorry to tell you this, you know, because a lot of people have dreams. But we have to create this black community. And if we don't create this black community, there is going to be no black community. Right about now, you have people that don't even want to be black. If they could change their color, they would change their color. It just so happens that they can't change their color. As much as they want to try the bleaching thing, the cake soap they call it now, I think, whatever. Everybody want to get brown. Everybody want to get white. Why? Because we've been psychologically destroyed from our mind. If you want to control a person's action, you control their mind. So right now, we're controlled people. You don't have to worry about us. You think they're worried about us? They're not worried about us. The last man they worried about was a man called Marcus Messiah Garvey. And you see what they done to that man. And that man only operated for 4 years. And they created the FBI because of this man. The FBI was created because of a little small man from Jamaica, St. Anne's Bay. A country set up like something to destroy the ideas that we have. And even today, 2018, we still living off of this man's ideas. Race first. Garvey said these things. In 1920s, 1916s, Garvey was saying, you know, up you mighty race, you can accomplish what you were. Because he knew who you was. They know who you are. The only person that don't know is you. If you look at history, everywhere you go in the world, the black woman has been respected and worshipped. We are the only ones that don't respect the black woman. That's why in our music, she's a bad bee. And the black man is the king. Everywhere you go, if you look at, you know, Asia and all of these countries and these continents in the world, if you study the history of these continents, all of their gods was black. All of them were black. Buddha was black. Buddha was black. And you know Buddha was black. Yeah, it don't take a genius for knowing that Buddha was black. Because these straight haired people can't have shiny bumps. It's impossible. Only Afro hair can do certain Afro styles. That's why when some of the black women say to me, you know, when I straighten my hair, it's easier to manage. And I say, I don't really understand that because once you straighten it, you can't do nothing with it now. When you have your natural hair, you can cane roll it, you can do this style, that kind of style. But I understand the damage that they've done to our people now that it's easier to straighten your hair. That's what it really is. It means you're going to be accepted a bit easier. But when I see the interracial relationships, I always see the white man, yeah, when he takes our sisters, he goes for like, she can't be the best sister because she ends up with Ted. But what I'm saying is, yeah, she always goes for the most naturalist sister. But when the black man goes for her, she normally goes for the worst kind of them. But he goes for the best pick of our women. You know, she's productive enough. She have her own things going on. She keep her natural hair. She's doing her thing. And then we're the only set of people, again, that say, I don't need a man. I got my own job, or I got my own car. But that don't tell me why you shouldn't have a man. That means you got your own job and you got a car, you can get about the place. What does that have to do with having a man? Or having a woman, for instance? You know, we have to balance out the reasoning. Do you know what I mean? But all of these things come from our culture. So since we don't have a culture, we don't know how to deal with the black woman. The black woman don't know how to deal with the black man. We don't know how to deal with our children. We don't have no businesses. We don't have no economic system. We don't have no schooling system. And then we complain. When we send our children to Rome and they come back Romans, we want to cuss now. That don't make no sense. Why would we send our children there? But I know why we send our children there, you know, because the root of the matter is that we think their schools is better than our schools. We think their healthcare system is better than our healthcare system. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't have gone there in the beginning. We think that these people are going to better us. We still have that slave mentality where we're waiting for this white Jesus to come and save us. But there is going to be no white Jesus, just like Mickey Mouse ain't real. Do you understand what I'm saying? These things are not real. We have to get real, that's the thing now. If we care about ourselves, even, you know, some of us don't even care about ourselves, okay, fine. Let's care about these children that's going to come, the ones that's born and those that's unborn. If we don't change the condition that our children are living in, it's only going to get worse. Because the people that we think are our friends, yeah, they've got a plan for us. And their plan is to wipe us off the face of the earth. That's their plan, that's been their plan since the first time they come overseas and they saw what we was keeping up. Because where they're coming from, there weren't no electricity. There weren't no running water systems. There weren't no soap. There weren't even no fire. There was no language. And you know, my brethren says the black woman has always had a language. Because she's forever talking. So there was never a time when the black woman never had a language. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you know, these people know who we are and they're killing us. But what are we doing about it? Where's the serious effort to build something in this community globally as well? Because it's not just about London. Because when I look around the world, I see the same thing going on wherever we are. And I see the same complaints. I see the same suffering. But I don't see no action. And suffering is a crime. To be poor is a crime. Garvey said these words. But then on the other hand, you have rich people, rich black people that just think because they're rich now, you know, things is all right for their family. But you see the way how white supremacy works, that doesn't work like that. You can have a little money, you know, but when your child goes out in the world now, he has to go deal with the same children that we have to raise. The same bad thugs, ghetto, goons, wherever they want to label our youth. He still have to interact with our children, and then we're going to take his phone, and this is the same slavery going on again. Because he comes from outside, and now the Willie Lynch syndrome keeps continuing. So you can't save your child by getting money. That's the point of the matter. You can't even save yourself by getting money. Because the reality is, yeah, money, they can devalue it. If you study Kwame Nkrumah, they used the monetary system to destroy his idea. Because once they started to devalue his product, he couldn't foresee his idea. He couldn't materialize his idea no more. It's just like gold and diamonds. They value these things. Yo, we used to have gold. You pop the door, you know. That's how we have gold. We don't rate gold. They come and rate these things. They come and price and value things. This is why they say their education is the higher system. Our education system must be the lower system. You understand what I'm saying? When you go anywhere where they go, you know, they value everything. Their money is worth, like for instance, Jamaica, I think the money for £1 is 100 or 200 Jamaican dollar for £1. So we have to give up $200 just to get one of their pound. But they have the control. So, you know, we've got to, you know, attack. In order for this culture that I'm talking about to grow and blossom, we have to attack the culture that's there. So we have to attack the light-skinism. Yeah, we have to attack these things. And I know some people will say, but you're light-skinned. Whoa. So what does that mean? So I can't talk the truth. When they say, oh, you're fair-skinned, so I say, okay, so who's unfair-skinned? When they say, oh, you got good hair, so who's got bad hair? And this is not white people saying these things, you know. This is our own people saying these things. And you see what that culture does, that now the highly carbonated woman now, I don't like to use the term melanin no more, because melanin is a term that they use. It's created by them. But what it is carbon. Now you see a highly carbonated sister now, young sister, she grows up feeling ugly. And she feels ugly within our culture. Now how can we as black people have the definition of our beauty, someone that doesn't naturally look like us? You can't say a lion and bring a dog to the table. It doesn't work. A lion is going to be a lion and a dog is a dog. We have to accept who we are and stop trying to be white. Because all of this whitening is killing us. Everything white is bad for you, I tell you the truth. You eat too much white flour, it's bad. Too much white rice, bad. Too much white sugar, bad. Too much white people, bad. And it's real. And it's real. But you see, when we get to understand that, maybe we'll start to like each other, you know. Because I'm telling you that we suffer from liking each other. And especially in the so-called conscious community, it's like we don't like each other. Like we're in a competition with each other. Like I'm not in a competition with none of my brothers, because you see my ego, nobody can test this enough. So it makes no sense, me warring anybody. Everybody is blessed, you know, in what they do. We're supposed to appreciate each other's blessings and stop the competition. Because while we're fighting about the throne, they just come and took it and they carried it to China. They come and took our throne and carried it to China. So it's about getting serious now and defending our value systems. It's okay to be race first. It's okay, everybody else is race first. It's normal. Do you understand the word normal? It's normal. It's not normal for you to be like them. And they can say, you know, human being, humanitarian, they can preach that. But reality is they don't live that. But we live that. And we're dying. We're the ones that are suffering, so it's not doing nothing good for us. So race first is the message. That is, you know, like you go to church, you get the daily bread. That's the daily bread for today, for the next millennium. You know, you watch Black Panthers, you see Wakanda. We can create this, you know. Marcus Garvey was trying to create a Wakanda 100 years ago. But what are we doing in 2018, where we have technology? We have all the means to unite everything, but we rather show the worst kind of our culture and believe it too. And when we believe it as elders or grown-ups, our children believe it too, and that's norm to them. And they're going to take it further than you, because every generation takes it further. So if I'm raised first, boy, I have to watch my youths. But my youths are going to have a mature vision, or they're going to be terrible with the vision and take it further than even me. So we have to put that in them and stop relying on other people to do what we can do for ourselves. Because that's ultimately what we're talking about, self-determination. You know, on the advert for this, you know, and I say the same thing all the time. If the European comes to you and says, "Give me back my name," you don't have a name. If you say, "Give me back my clothes," you don't have no clothes. You're naked now. So now you're nameless. You're clothless, and say, "Give me back my religion." You don't even have a religion. Give me back my house. You're homeless. Give me back my education. You don't have no education. Everything that we have is what he's allowed us to have. And try and know that, you know. It's because he's allowed us to have it. Because when he decides that we can't have it no more, we can't have it no more. Because we don't have no power. They can't do what they do to us, to the so-called Jewish people up in Stamford Hill. They can't do that to them, but they can do it to us, because we don't even like it. There's no unity amongst us. We have no organization. That's our biggest problem. We have churches full and mosques full. Pastor got on red bottom shoes too, not just a woman. You understand what I'm saying? But our children are on the road killing each other, dying from lack of knowledge. We're dying with the food. There are things in the sky that kill the people. They don't even like their own people, much less us. If you see what they're doing to their own people, and one of my teachers says, if they don't teach you right, you know, what makes you think they're going to teach you right or treat you right? It's impossible. He doesn't like us. So the education system that we got is to benefit his system. That's why he gives it to us for free, because he don't give us nothing for free. I'm telling you, listen, if you don't get nothing from this, these little things will save your life, you know. Look at the injections. Why is he giving us all these injections? To kill us. There's death in them injections, and he's giving it to us free, so you know it's a problem. Anything free that this man is giving to you, reject it. Straight away, that's a red flag. Education is free. Why is it free? Because they're training you to keep up their system. Do you think they're teaching our youths to be African presidents, you know, to go back to Africa and liberate the millions or billions of African people or not? No, they're not. They're teaching us how to go out there and be good slaves. That's why the more education that we got, the worse our problems got. How about that one? The more educated we got, the worse our problems got, because now what you have is people that look like us working for them. They know the style, they know the lingo. It's like having a black policeman that's from the hood. He knows where the man them's at, he knows what they're doing. Now he's going to go in with his new friends and arrest all the man them. And this is what's happened, because now we're trained as robots to work for them. And we've gotten so bad now. I was switching on the next thing before the time cuts. That we've reached a stage now where people are just changing up their body. I have to address it, because it's a serious thing. People are like, you know, Frankenstein. They carve them one, this bigger, this, that, the other. Yo, listen, allow them things in it. That's what I'm coming to tell the people. I'm telling you, allow them things in it. Those things will kill you in it. Like, we have to, you know, if you go to Africa, there's certain tribes that just, you know, naked. They haven't been sexualized. Like, we have to get back to not being sexualized, and that must be something that we must teach our children, not to be sexualized. Because then they start to feel, well, you know, my breast is not big enough, I want bigger breasts. For who? Breasts are, you know what breasts are for? To breastfeed. They're not for you, they're not for your man, even your man, him like them, but it's not even for him. It's for breastfeeding, that's what they're there for. What's the big hype over it? Our bottom. What's the big hype over it? We've been sexualized, and we need to stop it. The media, they love that. Propaganda for them. Because they know that when we listen to rap music here, we get violent. When they listen to rap music, they smoke weed, they're hippie, and then they go and become lawyers and judges. Do you understand what I'm saying? They go through these, they call it fads or phases. So they go through all these things, but we're stuck in the ghetto. This is not no fad, this is not no phase, this is where I live. I can't escape this. By myself anyway. Collective unity is the only way we're getting out of this. Collectively. Identifying our culture, identifying our goal, and obtaining it, realistic goals, and getting it achieved. That's the way forward. And that's what we must be telling our people. You know, it's good to be black. It's not about watering down your gene. That's not the way forward. We've come too far. All of us are survivors. All of us here now are survivors, because it's not by luck that we're alive. You know how much black people they dashed overboard and fed to the sharks? Do you know that to this day there's sharks that come closer to where the shore is because they got a taste for meat? I'm talking about millions of African women and men who were thrown overboard to feed to sharks. That's not to mention what we went through in slavery, where they used to even take the baby and feed to the alligators as a sport. Huh? And we're still going through it today, where they say the school system to what? The prison system. How do you leave school to go to prison? I don't understand that. If we start to ask these questions, you know, he's telling us that it's time for us to do for self, every chance he gets. But we just don't want to listen. We figure that we can just keep buck dancing and playing a fool to catch wise. And all this fool playing, we ain't caught wise yet. I'm still waiting for the wisdom in this, you know. Because my children, I'm going to have to tell them the same thing. You you're black and you have to work twice as hard, you know. The same thing that my grandmother come tell me. At this rate, yeah, I have to tell her the same thing, you know. So boy, you know, yeah, to make sure you remember, you know, the schoolwork, you know. Because school is the way we're going to get a little paycheck. Because why are we sending out our children to be educated by them? One. And why are we sending out our children to work for them too? But what do we have? Nothing. But it's up to everybody in here to create this. That's what the time it is now. You have to be like serious people for your race. You have to be like a superhero that's saving your race. That's how you got to look at it. Like single-handedly, that you're the black superhero and you're going to save your race. You're going to buy black. You're going to keep your money in your area. You're going to help your brother and you're going to help your sister. You have to love your brother and love your sister. And if you don't love them, as my grandmother would have said, learn to deal with them. And there's wisdom in that, you know. Because you can't turn your back on your brothers and your sisters in this time no more. It's not about you get your house now. You know, you got yourself set now. It's not about that no more. Because they will take your house. And then when you're going through tribulations with your children now, you ain't got no family, no structure, because you're done already, you know, act like you're better than your whole family now because you got yourself a JOB. Just above broke. and you think you're better than somebody now. But these are the same things that happened in slavery. That way they would take one of the slaves and they would give him a better jacket, and they would say to him, yeah, you are gonna run the plantation, you know, you're the overseer now. So now they had a black person as the overseer on the plantation. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing that's going on today, but you might not see it. But if you put on the superhero magnifying glass over it, you will see everything from where it is. And you'll be able to strip everything out there and go back to basics. And that's what we need to do. We need to go back to basics and start and rebuild from scratch, because literally, we don't have nothing. We don't even have a place where we can even get our boogie on no more. You can't even get jiggy with it no more. Because there's nowhere for you to go. Where you gonna dance? Where? Where's the dance now? I don't know. I don't go to these places, but I'm just saying that we don't even have these luxuries where you can go and dance no more and act a fool. This is why when carnival comes, everybody gets excited now. Same slavery again, you know, because carnival was given at the end of the crop. If you had a good crop, you know, you can get for dancing. You know. If you had a bad crop, there won't be no carnival this year. So then you go dance yourself away, act a fool, and then now everybody loses. Listen, I went carnival this year, and what I saw down there, I couldn't believe my eyes. And I'm glad I went, because I needed to see these things. I needed to see my own people get down like this. I said, no, man, black people don't do them things, man. You know, black people be doing these things, man. The same things, because if there's no culture, there is nothing no more. Like I said, you accept a gay person in your house can sit down and play PlayStation. Me not playing a PlayStation when I'm funny there. I'm not doing it. Hate me for it, out your business, but that's my value system going wrapping up. The value system must be defended, you know, and it must be reinforced. They're okay to express themselves, isn't that what they're doing? They're expressing themselves, innit? So why can't I express myself? Why is it a problem when the black man, the original man and woman, want to express themselves? Why is it an issue? Why wouldn't I heard the sister talking about building a school? Why is it an issue? Everybody else have their school, you know. But you see what they did though? They don't say white schools. They have Church of England, they have Catholic schools where they say to you, you know what, you got to be a Catholic to go here. You got to be baptized with the blood of Jesus to come here. You know, enough of us ain't got my, you ain't been baptized. So them good, so-called good Roman Catholic schools, I can't get my daughter to go there. So there's no alternative. If it wasn't for strong black women like the sister telling you the struggles that what she's gone through to help and do their things, we would have nothing. Because like I said, we got nothing, bare minimum. Like I said, wrapping up, no name, no language, no religion, no customs, no traditions, no nothing. We've lost our mind, even. And now what I see in 2008, going back to Carnival, we've lost our soul too. And on that note, I'm gonna close up, you know. But I want to thank you for listening. But I want you not to get serious though. It's race first or it's literally death. And we're dying now. If you don't believe it, look and see.
You've heard it, people. Race first, the only solution, and educate our own children.